The Brea police really do want to find this Good Samaritan. We're going to show you a freeze frame of him in a moment. He'll be the guy in a cowboy hat. They really want to find him. They say he really helped this police officer out. On another side of this story also shows how quickly things can change for police officers on patrol. This was just a routine traffic stop, pulling someone over who had an obstructed license plate that quickly turned into something else. Thankfully, the woman never intervened, but this Good Samaritan did. And now, Brea police want to know who he is so they can thank him.
One Good Samaritan came over. We don't know who the guy is. He left before we could get his name. We'd really like to talk to him and recognize him for what he did. But he came and helped the officers subdue the suspect.
Wow, from a fatal police shooting in Minneapolis, a black man killed in an apartment by police who let themselves in with a key. That city now declaring a moratorium on no-knock warrants. The shooting captured on body camera video. We have to warn you, it is disturbing.
Now, you can see officers entering the home without knocking, eventually kicking the sofa where Locke was sleeping. The officer, now identified as Mark Hanneman, firing at least 3 shots, killing Locke less than 10 seconds after entering. Now, police say Locke pointed a gun at officers, but in the video, critics of police note that Locke appears to point his registered handgun down at the ground.
As crime spirals out of control in Democrat-run cities, the president of the National Sheriff's Association is slamming President Biden's push to target guns while ignoring criminals. Listen.
So the guns are not the issue. It's the violent acts that can be committed by these people, whether it's using a car, whether it's using their hands to choke somebody. Those are our daughters, our wives, our mothers, our children, and the Biden administration needs to start listening to our communities, needs to start listening to law enforcement. There's people that know how to make this work.
So the Biden administration has somehow nearly 1 billion records of lawful firearms purchases made by Americans. This is according to a new report by the Washington Free Beacon. Now, to be clear, a federal firearms registry is explicitly banned by law. The Congress has banned it. They're not allowed to keep any kind of registry like that. Now, they can check your credentials when you buy a gun. Hunter Biden lied on his form. That's a felony. They've done nothing about it. But they can't maintain a registry.
Why are you guys getting caught up in semantics? Right? There's a mission out there. There's a mission out there to be there. We can sit here and argue about it till we're blue in the face. Right? I've been doing this job as long as y'all. What's that? For evil to triumph is a good man to do nothing. I can't hear you. For evil to triumph is a good man to do nothing. That's exactly what's happening here. You did better doing nothing. You allow them to be waiting. You are doing something.
Well, the southern border is in tatters. There's no question about it. And Joe Biden does not care. Doesn't care. He hasn't been there since 2008, and that was just a drive-by. Doesn't care about the criminals, gang members, drug dealers, what's coming across the country. Basically ignored the problem ever since early on as an administration when he sent out the signal, you come to the United States illegally, you get to stay. That's what he told the world.
And I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. Our country is completely failing. The federal government is failing its people, the taxpayers. This administration is, I can't even believe what they're doing. It's like they're guilty of treason.
Look, I know that you've seen everything that's going on around you, everything going on in your country, everything going on across the whole world. But right now, you need to wake up.
Amid growing concern worldwide about the situation in Ukraine, President Macron has been holding talks in Moscow with President Putin. The French president said he hoped discussions would begin a process of de-escalation and reduce the possibility of a Russian invasion. But today, the British Defence Secretary Ben Wallace announced a further 350 British troops will be sent to Poland in the spirit of solidarity with neighbouring Ukraine.
I'm not going to speculate on that. I think things you cannot get. Any message to the troops in Poland and their families, sir?
The White House says a Russian invasion of Ukraine may be imminent.
We believe that there is a very distinct possibility that Vladimir Putin will order an attack on Ukraine. It could take a number of different forms. It could happen as soon as tomorrow, or it could take some weeks yet.
Tensions are running deep in Ukraine, even as Russia maintains it's not planning a Ukrainian invasion. Its troops are carrying out area drills just 75 kilometers from the Ukrainian capital Kiev. 2 Russian long-range strategic bombers took part in joint military exercises with Belarusian air forces. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, the Russian strategic bombers conducted maneuvers for approximately 4 hours in Belarusian airspace.
Concerns about a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine. New satellite images show that Russian troops in Belarus have moved closer to Ukraine's border. In fact, they are now just about 30 miles away.
To the Americans who are currently in Ukraine, should they leave the country?
I think it'd be wise to leave the country. I'm not talking about our diplomatic corps. I'm talking about Americans who are there. I hate to see them get caught in a crossfire if in fact they did it. And there's no need for that. And if I were anyone there, I'd say leave.
CBS News has learned that Moscow has amassed about 70% of the forces it would need to launch a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. An invasion the White House says could come at any time.
When it comes to hypersonics, what people need to understand out there, this is a relatively new system. Russians have got an active regiment called with an avant-garde system. Now, for people to make sure they understand what hypersonic means, that means a missile travels at a minimum of 0.55 times the speed of sound. That means a missile will travel, Sean, at 2 miles a second. And there's no defense for it.
From President Biden late today amid the tensions with Russia over Ukraine, standing alongside Germany's new Chancellor Scholz, presenting a united front at the White House, saying there's no daylight between them. The president saying if Russia invades Ukraine, there will be no Nord Stream 2, the controversial new gas pipeline between Russia and Germany.
You hear that? It's backup arriving. You know everything that you know about from the past. You might as well forget it, because none of that matters anymore. See, the world needs you right now. They do. The whole world needs you. They need you. Wake up!